Hi, what's going on YouTube world? Kyle Louie here, bringing you guys a new video vlog for you today. I hope all is well. I'm sorry that's a little bit later than normal, but hey, at least I uploaded something for you, and you can watch it as you go along about your very day from now on, now that it's uploaded. Um, it's been a little bit since I've done like an actual sit-down vlog with you guys, where I've actually talked about something that's important to me. Now, everything that I do is important to me, for my family, for you guys, for friends, like all the above. Obviously, first and foremost, I'm doing all of this on the behalf of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Um, but as of, I've done some vlogs here and there, but mainly it's been some fun ones and um, some nice gestures towards my wife, who I did something kind for her, something that showed her uh, my appreciation. Um, I did an outreach uh, 2 weeks ago. Um, I've been doing quite a bit of uploads lately, but I haven't done an actual sit down vlog with you guys where I've talked about something that is really important to me, something that really matters, something that hurts me, um, to seeing that it's still going on today, and the aftermath of what happens if it's not taken care of correctly or the right way. Um, and I believe I've mentioned a few times on here that I have experienced bullying in my life. Um, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what I went through. Um, I'm not going to say names, but I'm going to go into detail on what had happened to me, um, and what was so heartbreaking for me, and how I dealt with that, and why I believe, or why I'm so hurt that it's still going on today. Um, and I'm going to try to give some input, some advice on how we can change that, how it can be better, how bullying can just stop, because ultimately that's what needs to happen. Um, and as I go along, you probably will agree with me. At least I hope so. Um, I'm sure you who are watching right now, um, maybe you've been bullied once or twice, or maybe you've been the bully, and I'll talk about that too. Um, this is something that I've been wanting to talk to you guys about for a while, and maybe I've brought it up here and there and on quite a few of my videos, but I've never really sat down and actually talked to you about what I went through, how I feel about it, how I feel it's changed, why it hurts me today, why it hurts me today, to hearing that it's still going on is what bugs me the most. So brace yourself. This is definitely going to be. Um, if you listen to my story, it might be a tearjerker. I might bring up some memories that maybe you've gone through that, or um, and the reason why I talk about any topics on here that I care about, it's because I want it to be, I want you to not only feel like you're not the only one, because I know when it comes to us and when we deal with being bullied, that we feel like we're the only one getting it, and that's not the case. Um, a lot of people are bullied day in and day out for stupid stuff, and the fact is that bullying is, there's so many variations of bullying, um, that it should just stop. Period. And ultimately, what bullying happens, we'll talk about what it leads up to if it's not taken care of. But before I get into this, I do want to um, leave like a viewer discretion, just because I don't, um, I want you parents who are watching this, if you are a parent or you're going to be a parent, or if you're dealing with bullying in your school, or with your family right now with your kids, I want to bring up how important it is to talk to them and to see what's going on in their lives, and take care of it, if you find out from them that they are being bullied. A lot of the times, kids are scared to tell you because they feel that they are weak. Um, that it's a sign of um, not being tough enough, and a lot of parents say that, tough it up, it's okay, you'll get through it. That's not quite the words to be saying, um, uh, like that in a sense, because it's not taking care of the situation. So um, I'm going to try to go at this as short as I can, but again, like I mentioned, this is very serious for me. This makes me very emotional, and so I'm definitely going to dive into this. If you feel like I talk too much, then you guys can get off. Um, but if you're agreeing with what I'm saying, or even if you just want to listen, I really do appreciate it. I would appreciate a like to or acknowledgement. Maybe share something down below, if you've been bullied, and maybe I can just leave a prayer for you or a conversation with you, whatever you need to help you um, feel better. Okay. Um, Now, when I was bullied, um, it was in sixth grade. I was bullied for about a month, um, by not only one kid or two kids or three kids. I was bullied by a group of kids. And these kids I actually knew. I had grown up with them in elementary school. And it was mind boggling for me um, I was just, I just didn't understand why they were targeting me because I didn't do anything to them. And they knew me, and they didn't do it up until middle school. They were cool with me, and well, I wouldn't say cool, but they tolerated, like, it was we knew each other, and we just kind of let each other be, in elementary school. Um, but when it came to middle school, it was all about popularity, being the popular person, and attracting the cute girls in school, and um, seeing what you can get away with. And um, I was bullied by a group of kids, which was really, really crazy. I think about five, to be exact. Um, and it wasn't just verbal bullying. It was physical abuse, physical bullying, um, harassment. Um, they would do stuff in front of the teacher, and the teacher wouldn't see anything, or he would see something and he wouldn't address it. Um, the gym teacher was um, not cool. And he got fired for his job because he didn't do what he was supposed to. And I'll explain that to you in a little bit. But yeah, I was bullied for about a month or so. And I was hoping that it would stop. I was hoping that it would change. I did that. I was like, hey, please leave me alone. I didn't do anything to you guys. Why are you bullying me? Leave me alone. I avoid you guys to stay out of your way. You guys can do your own thing. I did nothing to them for them to do what they did. Um, and it I guess in a way I should have expected it, but I didn't, because it's a new school, and you're just trying to figure things out. It's new grade, sixth grade, um, and I'm just trying to figure out a new school, new locker, just everything, schedule, all that, finding my way to fit in, um, and it it went on for too long. I um, I was bullied. Um, I was name called by every name of the book. Um, I was pushed. I was shoved. I was thrown down. I was humiliated in swimming class. My shorts were pulled down in the class, and that day was not a good day for me because well I chose not to wear underwear that day. So that that was really embarrassing, and I shouldn't have done that. Never do that. Make sure you're wearing underwear when you're um, in your swimming class. Um, but yeah, they decided to circle around me, and it was like a conjoined class from the with the other teacher. Because I guess the other teacher had a substitute that day, so they just combined the classes. And our the lady teacher that I that was helping us out, she wasn't my teacher. She was the other classes. Um, she was the other classes teacher, and who we had was a substitute, and so that substitute teacher didn't do crap. Um, and um, the one that was the actual like Fayed teacher and saw what was going on. She saw me look straight her like I looked her straight in the eyes as I was being cornered and circled around with these guys. And I mean my face was in terror. I was hello, and that teacher didn't do crap. Um, I'm trying to be as respectful as I can, guys, but it really made me angry. Um, and my shorts were pulled down when I was trying to get out of the pool. And of course, I was in front of I don't know, probably like 30 students, um, girls, dudes, um, and the teachers. And I was humiliated. I pulled my shorts up. Um, I literally jumped out of the pool and ran to the locker room. And those guys followed me and pushed me against the locker room, grabbed me, dragged me, and I was trying to fight them off. I was a little guy at the time, so I really couldn't. I tried my best to take care of myself, but it was not a good thing. And I was pushed in the shower room. Mind you, I still didn't have clothes on. Um, and I was pushed against the wall. Um, and I pushed the guy back, and I finally gave him a good hook that knocked him in the face. That kind of shocked him a little bit, and I said, "Leave me the heck alone, or there's going to be a problem." And his by then the bell had rung. I was late to class, of course. Um, I explained to them what was going on. I was also, I mean, um, I was bullied and like, I was just bullied for the longest time. Um, I was, uh, and what's even worse was that when I talked to the teacher, that the main teacher that I had, he said he would talk to the staff or talk to the principal and everybody, um, and whoever needed to know just to take care of the situation, but he didn't. Um, every time I would go ask him if he did, he'd say no, didn't get around to it. I've been busy. Like kind of shrug his shoulder. And there was another time that I was pushed and shoved. I literally fell over the bench and almost hit my head on the locker. Um, and he came around and saw what was going on. Didn't do anything. Did not do anything. He just kind of like almost laughed. Well, no, he did laugh. He kind of laughed at the situation on what happened to me. He didn't address the kids who were pushing me, um, and so that's why it continued. as long as it did because he wasn't doing his job. And so I would go home and I would not talk to my family. I would not eat. I would not. I just felt my family, they were going through stuff, dealing with their personal issues, and I didn't want to bring my stuff up. Again, I felt like I was weak, that I was letting them down if I told them. And yeah, um, yeah, for I was bullied for about a month, but I didn't let them know for a while. And it wasn't till I um, I was sitting in a corner of my room, um, and I wasn't doing anything. I was in the corner of my room, and I was crying. I had to let it out. Um, my sister wasn't there. I don't believe. Um, and neither were my brother. I mean, they had their lives. But it was my dad who caught me crying, and he asked me what was going on, and I told him everything. And first thing that came to his mind was how failed of a parent he felt, because he didn't see it and he didn't address it. He didn't help me. Um, it was after I had contacted, um, I had talked to my counselor and the principal, and I said this was going on for a long time. I didn't do anything to these kids. I left them alone, and they kept targeting me. And the teacher, I talked to him right away, and for a couple weeks he didn't do anything. And that's why it went as long as it did, because he wasn't addressing the situation. He was almost like allowing it, and it staff should not do that. You are a mandated reporter, um, and whenever you see something like that happen, you need to talk to your principal. You need to talk to your staff. You need to talk to counselor. You need to help the kid who's being bullied, period. Don't don't egg the the bullier on. You need to address the situation, cut that with a knife, you know? Hey, that needs to stop, or you're going to be suspended or whatever. Um are you okay? That didn't happen once to me by this teacher. And so when I reported it, and when I went home and I had cried that time, and my dad found me, um, he got a call from my principal, and he got a call from the administration. Um, I think both my parents got a call, about what was going on, um, and it it really hurt. Um, they were of course suspended for the remainder of I they were suspended for a couple weeks, I believe, or maybe a week. I can't remember. But he was fired. The teacher was fired. He was not doing his job. And so, anyways, it really messed with me. Um, I felt worthless. I felt like nobody was gonna give a crap. Um, that the teachers that did matter, that like the my counselor and principal, like those were the two people that I was able to trust. And that's the only two people you should be able to trust. And if they're not doing their job, then you need to go above them. Um, so I'm just saying that first and foremost. Um, so anyways, yeah, I was bullied for a month, and for like at the end of that year, I went to a different middle school. I think that was recommended to my parents. They didn't tell me, but I kind of thought it was that way. New environment, new school, new place, and I wasn't bullied there at all. I mean, the kids didn't really know us, and so they kind of just left us be, which is fine. Um, but I also had grown in height, like every year, and I kept saying to myself, I am not going to allow or let anybody be bullied the way that I was bullied. Whatever I had to do um, to protect somebody, I did it. I mean that. I'm serious. You can look me dead in the eye. I am serious. I would defend anybody who was being bullied. It didn't matter who or how big you were, or it didn't matter what was going on. I stepped up and I took care of the situation because I didn't want anybody to be bullied. Although I became a bully to the bullies. I don't know if that's a really good terminology, but I just, I did not like it. And the kids would kind of know me later on. About eighth grade was when my name was kind of being flown around. Um, I remember there's a couple occurrences in high school. Um, I, there was, oh man, there's a couple of them. I'm trying to think of what I should share first. I think my freshman year was when I was walking to class, um, and I was late, of course, but it was because I noticed that a girl and her boyfriend were arguing, and I had turned the corner right when he had shoved her against the locker. And you don't do that, period. Neither girl or boy should ever physically abuse their significant other, um, because that is abuse, that is assault, and you can be arrested for that, and you deserve to be arrested for that if you do. But this girl was scared for her life. No one was there at the time, and I grabbed the dude's wrist because he had it balled up in a fist right here, and he was about to hit her. And I ran up to the guy, I grabbed his arm, and I shoved him to the ground. And I asked her if she was okay, and of course she was just bawling her eyes out, crying, scared. And I said, "Go to your class. I'll take care of this." And then right when she walked into her class, um, and he was still on the ground, the hall monitor had turned around, and our hall monitor was a retired like Marine officer, both. And so he was such a cool guy, and I told him what was going on, and he took him to obviously the office, and took care of the situation. I didn't get in trouble for it. Um, and then there was another one. I don't know what was the whole like senior freshman competition thing. Um, but one of my friends at the time, um, and this kid shouldn't have been. I mean, you don't know who you're bullying. The kid that was being bullied was my friend, and he was a wrestler. He was a wrestler for the high school, and so I mean he didn't do anything because he was more. I think he was very introvert, very kind of like to himself. He didn't really like wrestling was his thing to kind of venture out from being an introvert. But when it came to like you know class or anything like that, he was very quiet. And when he was being bullied, it was during lunchtime, and some kids from, I think it was his grade or maybe a couple grades older, maybe they were senior, I can't remember. Um, no, they were a little bit older. Yeah, yeah, they were older. They were about my grade, I believe, and they were like being like bullying this my friend who was only like a freshman, I believe. Regardless of how old they were, um, and what grade they were in. Bullying was what was going on, and he didn't step up to defend himself, so I did. And I told him to back off. I stood up from my table. I said, "We're gonna have a problem if you continue." And they backed off. Um, oh yeah, there was one time in middle school. Um, I think it was seventh grade. I was at the new school this time, and one of the bullying things that or one of the things that I did in defense of someone being bullied was actually a foreign exchange student who came to my class. He didn't speak any English, very little, and didn't understand what was going on. And we had like invited him to hang out with us. We went to like a school in service dance party kind of thing, I guess. I don't know. And he we were hanging out somewhere else, and he had somehow got separated from us, and he was I was founded by a friend of mine who was like, dude, we need to go take care of the situation. He's being, I'm not gonna say his name either, but he was like, there was a circle around him. Um, wasn't being like pushed or beaten up or anything, but what was going on was that the bully was trying to humiliate this kid by he found like girl chapstick or lipstick or something like that, and like told the kid to put it on his face. And I stepped up when he was about to do that, and I grabbed it and I said, "You do not listen to him." And I took it and I threw it. And I said, "I don't care who you are or what you think you're doing, but you need to stop bullying him." And he's like, "We're not. We're just having a good time." I'm like, "But he's not, and you are um, being um, you're being dumb." That's what I said. To put it lightly, I said another word, but um, I'm not going to say that on here. But yeah, I just said I don't care what's going on, who you are. Well, I do care what's going on, but this needs to stop. I said, how would you feel if someone was bullying you? Did this to you if you were new to a school? And he said, I wouldn't like it. And I'm like, neither does he. He doesn't know what's going on. And how would you feel? You know? I said, if you don't step away, I don't care what goes down, but you're gonna go down for sure. And this guy was bigger than me too. Um, but I was like, this is not gonna happen. And they all kind of just scattered and went away. And I kind of got him out of the situation. I kind of talked to him about what was going on, and he had said thank you in his language. At least I believe so. But he seemed very scared at that moment. When I was dealing with it, but at first he was kind of just not sure what was going on, and he was going to put the girl's lipstick on his face. And so, anyways, but about this about this bullying, I hear stories all the time. And I still believe that bullying is still going on today. When it comes to summer school, there's kids in summer school right now. If there's any bullying going on, that needs to stop. And this is where the staff comes in. The principals, the counselors, the teachers, the aides, whoever you guys are. If you are working in education and you see bullying going on, you are a mandated reporter. I worked with an after school program for 2 years. I'm a mandated reporter. So if I see some abuse or anything like going on, I report it right away. That's what we're supposed to do. And I've come across quite a few stories. I've read a few articles of kids committing suicide because the problem wasn't dealt with right away. There's abuse going on from home. So when the kid tried to talk to, there was one article where a kid had committed suicide because he was being abused at home. When he would go to school, he would go talk to the teachers. He felt very comforted by his teachers, but he was also bullied by kids there. So he would go home and he would go to the school and he would be bullied nonstop. He would tell the staff what was going. Well, I don't think he had the words to say to this teacher, but the teacher noticed the welts and the bruises, and I think she called the authority to go do a courtesy check. And the parents were like, "No, nothing's going on here." Um, and the police officers didn't do a check. They didn't check up on him. They just left. And I think the next day that kid had either committed suicide or he was killed. I can't remember. Either way, it went on for too long. Get get kids out of that situation. If you're an uncle, if you're a grandpa, um, if you have a family member who's abusing a kid that you love, you take them in. Um, but again, also when it comes to staff, you really need to take care of the situation. If someone is coming to you by being bullied, you need to help those parents. You need to help those children, and take care of the situation. You need to address the situation head on. You need to talk about it before even school starts, and you need to have your staff watch for stuff like that. There was a um, a documentary movie that came out a few years ago, quite a few years ago. Um, I think it was called Bully. I think. I can't remember, but I just know that there was a kid. He was being documented during class, during the hallway, on the school bus, um, and he was being bullied. And there was a principal who had said that we had talked to the parents of the kid who was bullying him. They said it was going to stop. They left it at that, but it was still going on. And then she had said something about once they leave the school, they're off our property. That's no. If they are on a school bus, they are still on your property because they are driving those kids to their homes from your place. So you, yeah, I believe the parents like had sued that school, um, which is good, and that's what can happen if the situation isn't dealt with, or you're dealing with a suicide, or someone's angry and comes to the school. I hate to say it like this, but this is what sometimes happens with the school shootings and stuff. This is not okay. If a situation like that is dealt with ahead of time or appropriately, things like that would not get that far and not happen. You know? That's what I feel. The fact that I still hear stories today of kids being mean, they're verbally abusive. You got people who are on the internet who are judging people. You got, I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff going on in this world that, I don't know. We need to get rid of this bullying stuff and we need to address it. We need to stop it. I mean, my Uncle Dave, he was an educator for 30 years and he would always like be in the middle of fights trying to defend what was going on. He would put himself at risk to protect those students. That is how far you need to go to taking care of your students. But it should never get that far. And that's something that my school had done every year was school assemblies and they would talk about stuff like this. Yes, bullying had happened, but it wasn't as much. Well, one is too much. I'm just don't get me wrong, but it was talked about. Um, and that's why I feel if it's addressed right away, if you guys are watching for it, it's not going to happen. If you do see it happen and you address it right away, take care of that situation. Watch out for the kid who's being bullied and help the kid who's being the bully because they need something too. They need help too. They're probably lashing out for something that's going on at home. So they take it out on the kid at school. That's my thought on this. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sorry if it's too long. I hope and pray that this is uploaded because this needs to be talked about. And you guys need to hear this. And I I'd really appreciate it if you like it. Subscribe if you have not yet. Comment down below if you need help. Um, yeah, if you need help. I mean, if you want to comment down below, we can, or I can leave in my email address again. If you guys want to email me, but I think we should get the conversation started down below on the comments because that'll bring a lot of other people who would be encouraged to share their stories, and it would be a great thing. You know, that's how things start. That's how things change. So, all right, guys, I will see you in the next vlog or video. I'm off Tuesday, Thursday, and again Sunday. So expect some videos then, all right? Thank you. This is Kyle Lewis, Kyle Louie out. Remember, live the moment, never fear change, and keep the faith.